What's up out there? For this week's Indie Game of the Week, I have selected Uboat. This actually came out of early access into full release the other day, and I thought it would be a perfect time to showcase this game. This was developed by Deepwater Studio. It has a list price of $29.99 on Steam, but is currently on sale for $8.99. Now, this is also published by Playway, and the price you see on the sale price might be different. Sometimes they'll have like a loyalty discount. I've bought a number of Playway titles over the years, so sometimes I get a lower price because it's just like bundled with other things. So whatever the price is, it is on sale and your price may vary. It's also in US dollars. This started life as a Kickstarter back in, I think, 2016, and I bought into it in 2019, according to my Steam receipt. And this just came out into full release on August 2nd, 2024. It has currently very positive ratings on Steam, and there is mod support. So we are going to select new game. I would also add, while we're sitting at the screen, this little swordfish icon that's on here, or the little emblem. There's a movie called Das Boot from the 80s, which is an excellent, probably one of the best made submarine movies ever. And it's a very realistic look at World War II German submarines and how they operated and everything. This game is basically the game version of that. All the ambience is there. You'll notice I've turned the music off. The sound of the hull getting cracking and stuff like that when you're down low, and things expanding and shrinking and all that, and the water dripping and everything, the engines and all, sounds amazing. So I didn't want the music bothering me with that, and I think it's better without the music. So we're going to select new game. There are a number of different simulations you can choose. There are two different very hards, I think 4 different hard difficulties, and then like 6 or 8 different normal difficulties. So we're going to select the easiest, or the first one down here, and these progress through the various time periods of the war. You start in 1939 and end up in 1944. There's a lot of management with this, where you got to manage your supplies on your ship, you got to manage your crew and things like that. This is a simulation, so there are different options for entertaining, balanced, or hardcore. I am more of a simcade type person, so I am far onto the easier side of this, and we're going to go next. And there's also crew management. I definitely don't want to have to micromanage everything, so we're going to go with minimal crew management. And then there's another host of options you can select in here. You can select your captain, how he looks. We're going to skip that, and we're going to skip the noisy intro. But basically, this is Das Boot, the video game, and they've done an excellent job with it. You start off in port. You have to actually like load up torpedoes and stuff like that. Let's see. You know what? Let's check our warehouse, and let's see. Look at the resupply. I don't care about lubricant. Where is fuel? We need fuel. Oh, fuel tanks are full. Torpedoes. Can we add torpedoes? Doesn't look like we can. So we're probably full. I guess we're full on everything. Probably don't need anything here. Okay, we'll buy some of that. You do have currency over here, and as you complete missions and do things, you will get more. We can buy some ammo. What's this? Large caliber AP ammo. All right, we'll fill up on ammo. Whatever. Flak gun. Okay, so we can exit this. We've got full fuel, which is what I really wanted to care about or look at. We select this guy to choose orders, and there are different mission types. It doesn't look like we're going to get any combat. Unfortunately, I've tried this a couple of times. Basically, I keep running out of fuel before I get anywhere. So let's do, you know what? Let's do, instead of trying that and run out of fuel, I'm just going to select this training mission, and we're going to go through this. This is the quickest way to actually show combat. There's a lot of controls on this, and I would like to actually get into combat and do something other, like I want to do some combat. So basically they're going to send us out here. We select our speed, and this is a curated experience, so we can actually show some things off. Your guys are going to get in the boat. We're going to cruise over to here. I would like to actually show some combat, basically, instead of just sitting here. There's a lot of things you have to manage, like your batteries when you're underwater for too long. We can leave port. and then end up out in the ocean. There's fuel you got to manage, air quality when you're underwater. There's a lot of crew stuff you have to manage. Then there's your boat speed, your depths. You've got different depths you can put it at. This thing I have not, oh, your rudder if you want to mess with that or whatever. I don't really care to. Let them manage all this. So you've got the boat view. You can actually watch the sun come up and go down, probably the moon come up and go down. So right now we want to kick it into high gear. Oh, we're just going off into some random direction. I thought we were given a direction. There's a couple of nuances to this game. So if I put that back down here, when you start off at the boat view, the times controls are up here, and then you switch to the globe, and all of a sudden the time controls are down here. I found that very annoying. There is a little arrow down here you can click on to send these up there. That way they're both at the same spot on the screen. The other thing that's kind of annoying is when you're cruising along, there's no play button. You just untoggle whatever is toggled. So if you're paused, you just untoggle the pause button. If you're on 12x, you untoggle there. And then it's kind of a motion sickness view on this. You kind of bounce around on the ocean. I'm going to guess that when you go into the globe, you get 15,000 speed, probably because you're moving at the speed of life when you start off. So if you really want to take a week to get here, it can take a week or a couple days, or you can just blast through it and get there and it just smokes along. So there's options in movement, and it looks like there's like chart options and stuff. I don't know how much I'm covering over here, but there's like chart options. And let's see here. They're going to ask us to do certain things. We got to pick different people. One thing that I really like about this and what drew me into it, we're going to go to periscope depth. What I really like about this is that you've got, the outside view, but then you've got this cutaway view. Wes Anderson is a director that makes a ton of movies with cutaway stuff throughout his movies. If you've ever seen any of his stuff, I love the cutaway aesthetic. It's something I had a little book when I was a kid that showed a lot of cutaways on things. And I love this. You can also switch to first person mode and walk the deck yourself. You can actually look at the engine compartment, the crew quarters. You can run, you can come up here and go up into the conning tower. You can actually get up on deck. You can go look at all this. I'm not sure how much of this you can actually work yourself. I presume quite a bit. Like, do you want to control this and run the planes up and down? Probably not. I don't know how much of this you can actually simulate, but you can use like the little sonar thing. You can use the radar. I don't want to escape. I just want to back out. Let that guy go do his thing. Or they just run their own stuff and do their own thing. So at this point, we need to get this guy onto the hydrophone thingy. So we're going to send him over in there, and you'll see him walking over to it. At some point in the tutorial section, they'll tell you to go turn on like the pumps and stuff like that. And, it's going to get very detailed as you go. Okay, so we're going to speed this up. We're waiting for him to make contact. So he hears a contact over here. So what we need to do is hold control and right click. I don't know why they bounce between right click and left click. I don't quite get that. And it kind of was odd when I looked at this to begin with, but if you left click, and I don't know why they bounce back and forth between left and right click, but if you left click, you're going to like go to that destination. If you control and right click, it's going to send you at a weird angle. You'd think, why wouldn't you just go to this? Because you're doing an intercept. So the ship you're trying to fight is going this direction, and you want to actually converge on it. So that's why you're control clicking. So then we can speed this up. I didn't quite understand that at first, but we are close. So we could actually look out here, and you can see the ship over there on the horizon. That's about as fast as we can go, so we can just watch this thing sail along. 2 more what? I don't know what that means. So you can see it up on the horizon there. You can actually watch the sun come up. That was kind of cool, seeing that early on. Let's see here. We're getting very close. So let's see. Somebody needs to compute the course. Please select Rieger, which is this guy, and tell him to come up to the periscope. Now he's going to look over there and try to eyeball the ships and get a target firing solution. So now we need to, yeah, see, now you need to right click there, which again, I don't understand the whole left click, right click thing, but we click on that. And let this thing simmer for a little bit. Speed that up, and then they will give you the firing solution for this. Okay, so now we get to launch torpedoes. So select the ship, and we're going to launch torpedoes at it. Now we need to flood the torpedo tubes and wait on those. So we'll speed that up a little bit. And then once this thing synchronizes, once that lights up, we'll be able to click the fire button. Now you can actually come in here and watch the torpedoes shoot out. You can see the torpedoes over here. They'll have like a little wake behind them as you fire these things off. There's one. This one doesn't get a wake for some reason. I've noticed that. So that first and third one do, but the second one doesn't. So you can sit and watch these things cruise by if you want, or speed them up. We want to see this go by. Oop. I totally missed it. You can watch the ship explode and sink. Oh, you don't hear the clanging. You'll hear like the siren going off of these guys setting that, alarm, get off the ship, that kind of thing. Let's see, we need to surface the ship, and we'll come over here. I like how the water, is, if you zoom in with the camera and zoom back out, the water kind of runs down the camera. I think that's very cool. We should be surfacing. Let's see, we need to pick this guy, send him up to the bridge. And then once he gets there, we're going to, let's see, where's that guy? Rieger. We need to make sure that his people are with him. Basically, you're going to look out. He's going to look around to try to find this other ship. And then he's going to ask other people to come up onto the conning tower with him so he can expand it. You've got multiple people looking out in the distance. And then these messages, when you send these, they're going to actually fill up more of your money. Let's see, we're waiting on these guys to go find things. It's just explaining all the little details on how this thing goes. Oh, I selected them and they took them away. Okay, so they found this, so we're going to need to click on that. Can we see the ship? Yeah, there it is over there. So we can actually see that thing. And let's speed this up a little bit. This one we're actually going to board, which is kind of odd. I didn't realize. I'm guessing that's in history that these guys would actually go and board some of these ships, ask them for their shipping papers. And is that the little dinghy from the other one? Yeah, that's the lifeboat. Yeah. You can pass the lifeboat. Wonder if we can shoot that thing. There's a wooden chest we can take and everything. I'm kind of tempted to go shoot those guys. Can we get anybody up there to man that thing? You. Oh, we can't man this guy. No. Doesn't look like... I don't know how you can man the deck gun. I'd go shoot those guys down. All right, let's just cruise on over here. So basically what we're going to do is travel over to this. And we're going to board the guy and ask him for his papers. So if they look shady or if they look like they're going to an enemy port or whatever, that's what this coaster is. We're going to actually board this ship and dynamite the thing, which is odd. I would have never thought these guys actually got out. You know, they're going to get out and go over on this other boat and dynamite the thing. So we need to select somebody, we need to equip some dynamite, and we send them over there. They get over here. We can speed this along a little bit. It is a simulation, so you actually got to do certain things and wait for certain things. But the captain acts all shady on here, so we're going to go tell them to get out of their ship, and then we're going to go plant charges and watch the thing explode. So I thought that was really cool. I've never seen that before. Or I didn't know that was a thing. Can we speed that along? It should blow up. You'd think everything was torpedo attacks, but not necessarily. And then it sends you back to port, and then you can go on another training mission. I would go into a more in-depth mission, but every time I do, I run out of fuel, and like they'll have you patrolling. Let's see. Yes, I don't want to deal with that. I want to go here. Like they'll have you go out and patrol one of these boxes, but then they want you to run like 1,000 kilometers. I run out of fuel, and then I don't have a way of getting back to a port. So it's that kind of nixes that. And I think that's, I don't know, I feel like that's probably an adequate, I think that's an adequate video to give you an idea of what you can expect from this game. It looks like it can get very in-depth. Like if you're in the mapping section, there's all these different buttons for like calculating distances. Like you can really get detailed onto this and lay out your path. Oh, we can't move around anymore. Like it looks like you can really, I don't know anything about sailing, so I don't know any of this stuff, but it looks like you can really get into it, and I don't know. It looks like you can really get in depth with this. It is a simulation, and it looks like they've done a lot of detailed simulation work. You can definitely get in here and micromanage the ship if you want. I mean, it looks like you can go for as little as you want or as much as you want. So I think this looks like a very cool game. I would love to dig some more into it and get a very big flavor for it. But like I said, a lot of these kind of games I enjoy in short bursts. It's not something I want to play all the time, but when I get into one, I get into it and I play it for a while. But at any rate, this is U-Boat. This just came out of early access into full release. I thought it'd be a good thing to actually show a game that came out into full release. I have a lot of early access games. You're going to see a lot of early access games on this channel, but occasionally some do come out into full release. I like the concept of early release. I know a lot of people don't. And there's a lot of bad games that just didn't make it or were very bad when they did come out. This is a very good version of the early access model, and it came out. So that is going to do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.